Good evening, everyone. We are just a month before Pesach. 30 days before Pesach starts, we're preparing the preparation for Pesach. I see the face of the ladies, they got nervous. Pesach is the ladies' nightmare. I always say, if people would know the halachot, they know all the laws of Pesach, probably 70-80% of the cleaning that they do wouldn't be necessary. Yeah, it's all ignorance. Most of the cleaning comes from ignorance. Just people don't know what's allowed, what's not allowed, how to make it kosher. Since they don't know, they work a lot more. I always say ignorance is very painful in everything in life, for sure in Judaism. You don't know the kashrut. You see people covering all the walls with tinfoil, the faucets, all kinds of weird things. Well, you don't know if to laugh or to cry, but that's it. Well, at least one good thing is behind it, that they mean well. It comes from Yirat Shamayim, fear from Hashem. Even though it sometimes gets foolish, but that's okay. But we just finished Purim. I tell you the truth, Purim this year, it was very hard to be happy, very hard. For me especially. Right? The snow, we can care less about the snow. Snow would be the last problem. Besides that Hashem sent us a snowstorm, 2 feet of snow, he couldn't walk anywhere. There's a reason for everything, If it came just before Purim started, that's not such a good sign. But like I said, that could be the last thing on my mind. When I see the situation, all over the situation, my son told me this year all the rich people escape from Muncie. They just don't have to give like they used to give all the years. Again, they used to give a lot of money. Hundreds of people come and they give nice amounts. They just saw we don't have, and to eat the embarrassment, all this embarrassment, they escape from town. If it's true or not. They just show you the situation that we're in. But besides that, I read something that, believe me, it burns their heart like fire. Just when thousands of Jews became poor in the last 2 years and don't have money to get even food or to put their kids in yeshivot, we have a woman named Lily Safra. She is the widow of the Syrian Jewish billionaire Edmond Safra that got burned in his house. If you remember, about 10 years ago approximately, he had a very high security house that it's all from special, all kinds of codes you need to enter. It was a very important banker. And something went wrong, the house went on fire, and because of all these codes, nobody could save him supposedly in Monte Carlo, over there, near France over there, and he got burned alive. The fire burned him. So he was a very big Baal Tzedakah. He gave a lot of tzedakah to some of the synagogue. You see buildings, the Safra Fund. Not that they don't give tzedakah, they give a lot of tzedakah. And who am I to review what they do or what they not do? But just to give you one idea about the situation of the rich people in our generation, that we should all cry for them. Mamash cry for them. About a month ago, 3 weeks ago, I heard that one billionaire bought a statue of some artist for $104 million. $104 million for a lousy statue the size of this tripod. לעילוי נשמת זולאי בת שרה, and also Meir ben Batya. So I say to myself, no, there's plenty of fools and idiots out there. Somebody wants to spend $104 million on an art, on statue or picture. No, what can we do? Just yesterday or 2 days ago, I found out that who was that genius that spent $104 million on a statue? Mrs. Lily Safra. How can my heart not burn on fire when I see thousands of miserable Jews walking in the snow, knocking on door, begging for $1, $5 to marry their kids, to put them in yeshiva? How much misery she could save from this foolish investment that she made. I know All these artists gonna start telling me, no, it's all business, one day she's gonna sell it for more. Whatever you say, it's fine. One thing I know, that when she comes to Hashem, I don't know if she's gonna have a good excuse. Especially today. If it was a time that everybody is wealthy and rich, $104 million on a statue, such an ugly statue, I wouldn't pay $5 for this statue. $5 I wouldn't pay for it. No. This is our situation now. You think she's the only one? You know how many Jews like this you have every week? They go to Sotheby's over there, they spend millions of dollars every week. You come to them, you beg them, help us out. We want to support the yeshiva is closing, we bankrupt, there's not enough money for the Torah. It's not my problem. What do you expect me to do? In the end, they give you $1,000 if you're lucky. That's the situation. Well, the Arabs is very generous, donating to Al-Qaeda and to the Hamas and to the Hezbollah. Very generous. We need to balance it out. All this evil in the world, there's not enough money for Torah. $104 million. No. This week, one other thing that is very annoying, that the Prime Minister of Israel announced that Israel adapt the holy sites to the Jewish tradition. What's those sites? Me'arat HaMachpelah, the cave of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and Kever Rachel, the grave of Rachel Imenu. Guess what? The Arabs started to riots in Israel. They go crazy because they think it belongs to them. Can you believe such nonsense? The Arabs, they said that the Torah is the work of God. Hashem gave the Torah to the Jews. It's in the Quran, so they cannot deny it even if they want. Since they believe that the Torah is the work of Hashem, in that moment, the Torah said that Yaakov buried Rachel, she is the mother of the Jewish nation, in Bethlehem, the city of Bethlehem, Kever Rachel. What does it have to do with the Arabs? Nothing whatsoever. They want it for themselves. Why Hashem does it to us? That even things that it's obvious that it belongs to the Jews, obvious, shouldn't even start an argument. Shouldn't even start an argument. It's like arguing if the Trump Plaza, Trump Hotel, Trump building belongs to Donald Trump or not. It's like the same argument. Are you crazy? He built it, he owned it, it's his name everywhere. He's running the show, now you're coming and say it's yours? What's going on here? Because the Jews are so weak in Torah that the Torah, even though it's a legal document, normally everybody recognizes it, the Christians, the Muslims, it doesn't help us. It should have been very easy to stand in the United Nations in the name of the Torah, that you, the Christians, that all the United Nations is Christians, and the rest is Muslims. You say that this is the book that God gave the Jews. In the name of this book, all these places belong to us. Not only those places, the entire Holy Land. It's no room for other strangers over there. It's the land of the nation of Israel. Why it's so impossible to do it? Why? Because Hashem say, you can care less in my Torah. Why the Torah will help you? When it's easy for you, you use the Torah to back you up. If you give your life for the Torah, then of course the Torah will save you. But if you don't care about the Torah, now you remember, so you bring the Torah, listen, it says in the Torah that it belongs to us. One Arab said to somebody, I once went to a seminar, and there was one Israeli builder, he was visiting from Israel, he saw a sign, seminar, he showed up. Not a religious guy. He says that in Israel all the workers, most of them are Arabs. Today they brought Thailandis and others, but for many years it was all Arabs. So he said they're eating lunch, and all the Arabs is telling him in his face, we just can't wait for the day that we slaughter all of you and take the land away. In his face. He's their boss. He's working with them every day. Think about it. In his face, they're not hiding. So he started to argue with them. So then all of a sudden he remembered that the Torah can back him up. So he told them, what? You denied that the Torah said that the land belongs to the Jews? So they say, you Jew? What makes you a Jew? The Arabs ask him. The terrorist that works for him. They ask him, tell us, well, we don't look at you that you're a Jew. You keep the Shabbat? You put tefillin? The Arabs ask him, what are you doing? You're faithful with your wife? You keep all the laws of Jews? When you be religious, you argue with us in the name of the Torah. Now in the meantime, you don't have any rights on the Torah. So that's what made him, when he saw the sign, Seminar for Judaism, he said, I got to attend. I have to see what the Jews have to teach about Torah. I'm a Jew and I don't know anything about it. That's what's going on today. What can I tell you? You know, today when you speak to people, what is their answer? I'm a good person, leave me alone with the Torah. The most important thing is to be a good person. You hear it everywhere, right? Yes. This in the argument, almost everybody answers the same answer for some reason. This answer is also a very foolish answer. Who define what a good person is? Who has the right to define a good person equal A, B, C, D, bad person equal whatever it is? Who? People? So according to the Germans, Nazis are good people. According to the Arabs, the terrorists that blow up children and women are good people. According to the Indians, somebody who kissed the feet of Buddha is a good person. Everybody has a different good. Some people, for them, who is good? Somebody that is a famous singer. They don't know his personality, that he's a drug addict, he beats up his wife, all the other things that he does, they don't know. They just see him singing, so he's good for me, I'll die for him. Everybody has a different good. Right?
Sometimes they know his background and
they still like him. You're right. Because, you know, it's when a person lives in a lie, you cannot be surprised in anything they do. In one of the letters of the Ramchal, Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto, it says something scary. He said there are people in this world that Hashem is so disgusted from them that he just ignores them. It's like dust in the wind, air. You're nothing for me. I don't even look at you. That's how low a person can get. It's worse than when you get Hashem angry. You got the point? If you have a son, he gets you upset, he does bad things, it burns your heart, you get angry, you give him punishment, you scream, you do things. As long as you scream and give him punishments and argue with him and do all kinds of, and take away things from him, it shows you still love him, you still care about him. If he gets to a point that he does whatever he does, you don't even look at him. See him walking without a shirt, no kippah, no tzitzit, smoking, I don't know, mechalel Shabbat. You don't even look at him. You don't tell him, stop, why are you doing it? You stop. That's already a sign you gave up on him. For you, it's like he doesn't exist. That's already, you know, there's a point, chas v'shalom, that it can get so low, that God forbid, how worse it can get. That Hashem doesn't care about a person completely. I never had a baby that behaves so good. When the baby is making problems, they keep them all the lecture. When they're good, they take them away. That's how it is. Anyway, so everybody say, I'm a good person. I don't hurt anybody. I'm not stealing. I'm not violent. I give respect to everyone. What do you want from me? I'm sure Hashem, He likes me the way I am. So the answer is wrong. You are dreaming. In case you have a thought like that you are a good person and you're okay, you are dreaming. First rule, when it comes to define a good person is, who are you good to? To people or to your Creator? If you're good to all the people in the world and you're ungrateful to your Creator that supplies you with oxygen and energy and food and money and a wife and children and everything you have, and you're ungrateful to Him, there's no point of checking the rest. You already failed before you started the test. Fail completely, zero. Nobody checked, oh, you're very nice to your this, to your friend, to your neighbor. Oh, who cares? You rebel against your Creator that gives you Torah, instructions how to live. You ignore His instructions completely, and you have the nerve to say I'm a good person? That also comes from stupidity. If a person really think, he would not ever dare to say I'm good. Sometimes you have people that say, I know I'm bad. It's my desires. What do you think? It doesn't kill me from inside that I'm like that? Oh, people like this I already admire. It's like he's coming and say, listen, I'm a loser, and pray for me that I'll be able to change the way I am. You know, I know I'm a failure, I know. But how many like this you have? You can count on one hand. Most people, they have excuses from now until tomorrow. One after the other. Hashem will understand me. My parents came from Russia. We didn't have kosher food over there. We didn't have a synagogue. We didn't have this. We didn't have that. I didn't go to yeshiva. A lot of excuses. Every time you're going to make these excuses, remember, there are people that grew up in a worse environment than yours, and there are big tzaddikim rabbis today. All your complaints are X'd out completely. Right? If it wasn't possible, then you have a point. But it's like somebody drives on the highway 80 miles an hour and everybody drives fast. And the car pulls him over and he says, what do you want from me? Look, everyone is like this. That's not a claim. That's not a complaint. Saying that you grew up here and grew up there and you went to this public and you learned with that monkey and then the other one and they told you that your grandfathers were monkeys and you came with evolution, all this nonsense. This is, yes, you know, it's true that obviously you didn't have the ideal environment like some religious kids. But there are many people in the world today like you, and look where they are today. They already write books. They have their own yeshivot. They teach Torah. They give lectures. They do other things. What's the reason you're not there? Because they are winners and you are a loser. That's the truth. Excuses, it's a part of being a loser. When a person comes with excuses, that's already an indication that this person is not going to change. When a person is going to change, first he has to acknowledge his situation. He hears a lecture and he says, look, he's talking about me. I am a thief. He's talking about thieves. I am a thief. He talks about Mechalel Shabbat, that's also me. He talks about a liar, that's me. He talks about a lazy bum, that's me. He talks about a violent person, that's me. He talks about a bad husband and a bad father, that's me. He's talking about an egoistic person, that's also me. He talks about addiction to materialism, addicted to material, to food, to fancy things all the time, fancy race cars, that's also me. Addiction to women, addiction to cigarettes, addiction to drugs, addiction to alcohol, that's also me. Sometimes it can get depressing. See, the list is so you know what? כאשר עבדתי. I'm a lost case already. I have people like this. So you know, when I review the list of the problems, and I see how much I have to correct, I just say, you know what? Whatever happened. There's no chance for me to, but that's a big mistake. This is, by the way, the best advice that the Satan give a person. From his point of view. It's not a good advice. For the Satan, it's a great advice. He tells you, look, how are you going to start? Where are you going to start? Sometimes, especially it happens to people who marry non-Jewish women. And especially if they have kids, that they are not Jewish, the kids. And one day they come to a lecture and their life is over. They just realize, wow, I have 2 or 3 kids. I spend so much money on them. In the end, they're not even my kids. All these headaches, all these efforts. And in the end, I've got nothing. I'm a single guy. I come to Hashem. I have no wife, no children. Plus, it cost me money. Plus, I'm going to get a punishment for that if I didn't make tshuva. Tshuva erases everything. Remember, the worst things you can think of, a murder even. That's the power of tshuva. So the Satan tells the person, hey buddy, forget about it. This life is over for you. Maybe in the next life. So what happened? The Satan makes a person depressed. And right after that, he wants to give up on everything. That's wrong. Because if a person changes one thing out of 1,000, one thing, it's already changed his status completely. Why? Because the Torah say, if the Torah wouldn't say, who am I to make up things? The Torah say, open me the size of a needle, and I'll open you for the size of a hole. Which means, all you have to do is make the first step. Hashem, I surrender. Okay, I surrender. Enough with this baloney. enough with this show of life, enough with all these lies, enough with all this stealing and cheating and playing and putting an act. Enough. Okay, I surrender. Let me start. Okay, tefillin. 3-4 minutes a day, I say Shema, I'll talk to you 5 minutes a day, let's start. You'll be surprised 3-4 months later how far you reached. The Torah says a story about Ahav. Ahav was a king of Israel, one of the worst kings in the history. Wicked king, and his wife even worse than him. Izebel. It's interesting, Izebel in Hebrew means she's garbage. That's her name. But you need with A. It's over here, it's with Aleph. It's what they say in English today, or in French, Isabelle. Comes from this Isabel. If they only knew what a bad name it is, they wouldn't like this name so much. But anyway. So here, him and her, min matzah et mino, the worst couple. But he was in the time of Eliyahu Hanavi. The time of Eliyahu Hanavi. Avodah Zarah, this. But he's a successful king. Why? There's unity in his time. Even wicked people, when they're united, they are powerful. That's the story of the Babylon tower, that they made a huge tower. What's the purpose of this tower? To go and fight against Hashem. So they acknowledge the fact that Hashem is up there watching. They say, you know what? We'll build such a tower until we reach him, and we go and fight against him. Sounds ridiculous today, but that was the intelligence of that people at that time. So Hashem came and mixed their language. He mixed their languages. One guy said, give me the hammer. So instead of giving it to him to his hand, he gave it to him on his head. Because Hashem started to mix their languages. It's like very interesting, because Hashem interfered with their free choice, which is something he usually never do. HaKadosh Baruch Hu never interfere with the free choice of any person, even the most wicked people, unless if innocent people are going to be affected, then Hashem interferes. But other than that, if a person wants to go and eat pork now, Hashem doesn't interfere with his free choice. The opposite, he has desire for it. Everything is usual. His stomach works, his mouth works, his muscles work. Everything works as usual. Hashem helps him. Later he will judge him for his sins, because he doesn't interfere with the free choice. This is the whole concept of a test. In a test, Hashem gives you all the tools you need to pass or to fail. It's up to you. So here Hashem interfered with the free choice and mixed their language. You started to build the tower. A week later, you forgot your language. He speaks to you in one language, you don't understand. You have a different language. What's going on here? This was in the Torah. It's not as a midrash that you don't know the source of it. So Chazal asked, what was here? Why Hashem did this? Why he mixed everything? To teach humanity that unity is above all laws. You have laws, you have constitutions, you have understanding, you have common sense, everything is fine. Unity, nobody can beat you. This is the secret. You take one straw, you want to break it, 1, 2, 3, you break it. You put 100 together, try to break them, put a rubber band around them, you cannot move it. Hundreds together, straws. Not straw, it's very flexible. Put 100 together, you cannot break them. Together it's a different thing. Unity is very good. You know the story I like to tell about the 2 horses and the 4 horses. You heard that story or no? One guy got 4 best horses in the world. And he has a carriage. There was muddy day, all mud. The carriage got stuck. He's beating them up. They can't come out of the mud. Then one poor guy with a lousy carriage and 2 skinny horses comes. They got stuck for 10 seconds. One shot, boom, the horses started to run right away, out. So the rich guy said, I don't understand, this guy has 2 lousy horses, they don't worth a penny. I have 4 best horses, I got them from the best places. I beat them up, each one of them so many times, they don't move. 4! So he asked the Rav, what's going on here? So the Rabbi said, those 4 hate each other. So when you hit the Bukharian, the Persian, the Afghani, and the Ashkenazi are happy. They don't want to run, because they think you're only going to hit him. Now when you go to the Ashkenazi, the other 3 are happy. But those two, they grew up together. They eat every day from the same thing. So when you hit the first one, the other one suffered the pain just as much. So right away, both of them together started to run. Two can already get the carriage out. Needless to say, 4. So that means even if you have 20 horses, they wouldn't come out if you got each one from different places. Same thing Napoleon against Russia. He came to one of the big rabbis, I think of Chaim Volozhin, I'm not sure if... it was at the time of the Gaon Vilna, yes. So he said, I wanted to meet a Chacham like you. Do you think we're going to beat the Russian, or the Russians will beat us? So he told him, the Russian will beat you up. You're going to lose big time. So he told him, how do you know? So he told him the story about the horses I just told you. So he told him, your army, it's all people who come, get paid. You occupy so many cities and so many countries. So you take one French, one British, one this, one that. Different soldiers, different culture. They all hate each other. They're not willing to die one for the other. But the Russians, they are all one unit. One suffer, everybody comes. That's why you're going to lose. Against unity, there's nothing you can do. It's interesting. Even then, you know what it is? Even if the Arabs, look at the Arab countries. If the Arab had real unity, they hate each other, all the countries. All Arabs hate each other. There's no two Arab countries that love one another. If all the Arab countries were together, all they had to do is just to walk to Israel. They don't have to fight. They don't need planes, they don't need bombs, these foolish Iranians, so much sanctions, and everybody hates them, and problem, and riots. Why do you need all this? Just make a convention, agree on a certain date at 8 in the morning, all Muslims will start marching, walking to Israel. Finished. 1 billion Muslims walk in. What can you do? They're occupied everywhere. They sit in the middle of the street. There's nothing you can do because the Israelis are cowards. They're not going to start shooting billion Arabs. The whole world's going to go on fire. So they will have to surrender. What can they do? They walk without weapon. We are not fighting. It's demonstration. They can't do anything. Unity, it's a killer. So, this King Achav is in the time of Eliyahu Hanavi. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends him this holy man, Eliyahu Hanavi. Eliyahu. He comes to him and he says, Hashem said, you know what the story was, that Zevel told him there's a person, his name is Navot HaKarmeli. Navot. That was his name. And he has was this gunshots? Mm-hmm. Yeah?
It sounded like
it, right?
Ice maker.
Ice maker? Why are you ruining my drama? You ruined my drama. I already wanted to say, wow, look at this. I'm speaking about Achav, and these people start to kill one another. Anyway, so, now we have ghosts here. Very good. All right. So, he had a nice yard, and their eyes were on his yard. They wanted it. He doesn't want to sell. You know, like in Israel, if the mafia like your yard, you finish. They come, we want to buy your home. We give you a week, this is the money. You don't argue. You leave. You don't leave, they take it anyway. You might as well take them. You can't argue with them. You know, I know one guy, it's interesting. When I used to be in business, there was one crook. I made a deal with him and he stole my money. So I didn't run after him. He was surprised. How come I don't come, I don't call, I don't take him to court, nothing. I have the documents, everything. I decided it's going to be ugly. It's never going to end with this guy. Hashem, you know what happened here. If I deserve it, you give it back. If not, Baruch Hashem, kaparat avonot, finished. The guy went to Israel, and he went to buy a factory for chickens. In Rishon LeZion, there's a company called Of Rishon. Chicken of Rishon LeZion. I'm giving you details. You can go and check if the story is real or not. So he went to Israel. The money, exactly all the money he stole from me was supposedly enough to conclude the deal. Maybe he had his own money. I don't know exactly how much this factory cost. But he bought the factory from an Israeli guy in Israel, and that's it. A week after, the mafia comes to him. The mafia don't just go to anyone. They come to him. Hashem sent the murderer, when he looks for somebody to pick on, Hashem directs him to the right people. So the next time when you have problems with them, you know some things that you did is wrong. They didn't just knock on your door in a store and they want protection money. They came to you, that means you're guilty of something. That's the way, that's the supervision of Hashem. Guilty people, Hashem send all the lions after them. So the mafia comes to him and they say, what is this? You're moving trucks here and this. Get out of here, you have 1 week to leave the place. So what do you mean? I just bought it. Here's the paper. I say, no, this place were mortgaged to us. We gave this person a loan in a black market. He didn't pay the loan. Look, it's mortgaged to us. We own the place. That's it. Get out of here. Go back to him. He sold you a place. The problem is that if you mortgage something, you can go and check on a deed. But the mafia don't put on a deed. They have a gun. They don't need a deed. So they have a piece of paper that the person signed. In case he doesn't pay them the loan, they take the place. So all the money that guy, that crook stole, who knows how many people, in one shot, everything is gone. And he is lucky that Hashem had mercy on him, that he made him lose immediately the money. Most crooks, Hashem let them build buildings, become wealthy. And in the end, they pay for every penny that they had in their hand, every penny. They pay one by one to the last. They go crazy. Hashem, why you made me successful in my stealing? You should not let me successful. Why? That I should pay you for everything you stole. This guy got lucky. At least Hashem punched him right away to wake him up, to make tshuva. Where is he today? Hashem knows. So this guy, Achav, he comes to this Navot and he steals his place and then he kills him. This is the expression in Hebrew that when people take something from you and in the end they speak against you, like you the bad guy. So in Hebrew they say, Haratzachta vegam yarashta. Not only you murdered me, you also take away my property. What, you my son? It's enough, one thing you killed me, now you want to take the property? The inheritance? It's 2 crimes in one shot. That comes from this person, Achav. I'm telling you a little bit background. So Hashem sends Eliyahu to Achav, and he say, tell him, in a piece of land, that he spilled the blood of this person Navot, the dogs would lick his own blood in the same spot. That's going to be his end. That's what the prophet Eliyahu said to this wicked king Achav. In the same place where the blood of this person Navot spilled on the floor, your end will be that your body will be dumped there and the dogs would lick your own blood. He got, measure for measure, of course. So he got so nervous, so scared. Look at him. Even somebody like him, which is a despicable person, he had some fear from Hashem. The despicable people of this generation wouldn't care if the prophet come and tell them, hey, you and your Hashem, go, go. They wouldn't care. But he cared. Guess what he did? He took away his outfit, his Armani suit, put it in a closet. He wore a potato sack, put ashes on his head, and started to fast and cry to Hashem to forgive him. So then, the next thing, Hashem sends Eliyahu back to him. The second thing, it's even a bigger miracle. First, that Hashem sent him somebody to warn him. The prophet, the holy prophet comes to your house. Imagine, the biggest rabbi in the world knock on your door. Shalom, Hashem sent me to tell you that He doesn't like what you do to your partners in a business. On one hand, you'll be upset that Hashem is upset at you. But you'll be so honored. Wow, Hashem sent me this chief rabbi of Israel. He came to my house to tell me that I have to correct something. So in the end, he made tshuva. He fasted, he broke his heart. And this is when Hashem sent him and he said to him, to Eliyahu, he say, Araita ki nichna Achav lefanai? Didn't you see that Achav surrendered to me? Hashem say that this wicked king surrendered to me. Yan ki nichna, because he surrendered. Lo avi hara bizmano. I'm canceling all the tragedies that were on the way to him and to the people because he surrendered. No, you don't need any more Musar lectures, this or, that's enough. Now you understand how it works. You put your head down, you surrender in one thing. He had plenty of other sins. What do you think? He fast, he made tshuva for murdering this Navot and taking away his lot. But you know how many other sins he had? Just the fact that he broke his heart. Right, the way his status changed. This is what the Tehillim says. Just when Hashem was ready to destroy the person, he screams to Hashem, right away everything changed around. That scream is so powerful that it can put on hold all the pains and tragedies and agony and punishments that is on the way to that person. This is the power of a scream from a broken heart. That's why we say in the Brit Milah. When we do Brit Milah, we say few psukim in the Brit Milah. What do we say? Lev nishbar v'nidke Elokim lo tifzeh. Right? That's what we say. Next time you go to Brit Milah, you listen to what they say. I know most of you don't speak Hebrew. I always say a Jew without Hebrew, it's like a car without an engine. Put it to your head. That's it. It's a time, even if you're 40, it doesn't matter, you have to learn Hebrew. Take tapes, learn everywhere. In a car, you learn another word and another word. Or you watch lecture with the subtitles. At least you catch 20-30% of the words. The next time you go to a lecture, you hear, you put it together. I don't know Yiddish. Yiddish. Some of the rabbis speaks in Yiddish in Monsey. So, about 30 or 40 words I understand. And plus they say the psukim. The psukim, I understand what they say. So right away I put it together, what they're talking about. You know, on Shabbat, when the rabbi speaks in the synagogue, he says a few psukim, and a few words I catch, and I put it together. I have a rough understanding what is he talking about. For sure, if you see the situation that you don't understand anything in Hebrew, don't do the same thing to your kids. That's for sure. You must teach the kids Hebrew. I don't know where. If for whatever reason they don't speak Hebrew in the yeshiva, it's only in English. In the afternoon, in the evening, a tutor, something, to teach them Hebrew. If one of the parents is Israeli, you should speak Hebrew in the house. But Rabbi, we don't want him to have an Israeli accent. Who cares about the accent now? He is going to know Hebrew when he goes to yeshiva. 50% of what the Rebbe says, right away you understand. Because the American kids, they can never reach the level of Israeli kids. Never, as smart as they are. You take a smart American guy and a smart Israeli guy with the same IQ, the same brain, everything the same, the Israeli will not double. Why? That's his mother's language. He speaks on the street every day with this. Sometimes you see Americans. You speak to them in Hebrew, they don't understand anything. You read to them from the Chumash, they understand everything. Very interesting, because 80% of the words is simple Hebrew. When you speak it in Hebrew, they don't understand. But when you read it, they understand. It's hard to believe. It's very interesting. So, besides the point, so Achav surrender right away, Hashem turned around everything. The power of surrendering to Hashem.
Yeah, but everybody could do that.
Everybody could do what?
They could do their sins and then they could surrender.
No, wait. You didn't get the point. The point is, this surrender is the beginning of a process. If a person tomorrow goes back to murder, that's the point. That's what I said before. Open me in the size of a needle. Show me you care. I'll do the rest for you. I'll help you out. If a person shows Hashem that he cares, he's going to have help. Hashem is always shining to every human being. Jews, non-Jews, everybody. The question is, how many layers, how many covers you have on you? The impurity of the sins make around the soul a cover and another cover and another cover and another cover. So the light doesn't go through. By making tshuva, it's like taking a Scotch-Brite and shine the soul, like cleaning all the dirt, and all of a sudden the light goes in. The light was always here. It just didn't get to you, because you're so blocked with the impurity that you created around your soul, it just doesn't go in. That's why sometimes you see people, they sit in a lecture and they don't get inspired by the best speaker in the world. Everybody's crying, broken heart, inspired, and this guy is hard like a rock, his heart. Nothing. Comes out like a wall. Nothing. That's why the Torah says, Lev shel even, a heart of a stone. And that's what the Navi said in one of the Haftarot. Next time when it happened, when you read it in the shul, you remember. In one of the Haftarot, it says, Ve'esarti et alev even, I'm going to remove your heart of stone and create a heart, soft heart, a real heart, flesh, not a heart of stone. This is all metaphoric. What does it mean, heart of stone? It's not really stone. It means it behaves, it's hard like a rock, stubborn, goes against the truth, don't care, everything is rebelling against, ungrateful. This means a heart of stone. So Hashem say, I'm going to create to you a new heart. This is what we say every month in Berekat HaLevana, Lev Tahor. Most people don't know how to speak, unfortunately. So they're saying it wrong. What do they say? Not only Americans or Russians, even Israelis, they don't know how to read. Some of them without nekudot. So they say, Lev Tahor bara li Elokim veruach nachon chadesh bekirbi. You should say, Lev Tahor bera li. Bera, not bara. What's the difference? Bara means created in the past. Hashem created to me a pure heart in the past. But this verse is Hashem, we're asking you to recreate to us a pure heart. It's a request. If you say bara, it's like saying once Hashem, once in a lifetime, once upon a time, I don't know, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, Hashem created to me a pure heart. But today, it's a lost case. That's what he said. So you have to say, berali, create for me Hashem. This is the request. We say it 7 times. All these verses that you see in Siddur, say it 3 times, say it 7 times, say it 100 times. It's all secrets. They don't just pick up a number. We see how many times these words appear, numeric value. There's a lot of secrets in it. Most of the secrets we don't know anymore. We don't know. But some of them we still know. Baruch Hashem. So, we just finished Purim. We had one important mitzvah, which relates to Purim. What? There's a nation called Amalek. Amalek. What's special about this nation Amalek? Throughout history, every time the Jews were traveling, Amalek comes to attack them on the way. The only nation, every nation that ever fought with Israel fought for a reason. We don't want you to go through our property, fighting about the borders. There's an excuse. Amalek never needs excuse. Amalek knows we're going to be defeated. We just see what the Jews did to all the other nations. We have no chance against them. It doesn't matter. We don't care to lose. As long as we cause them damage. That's like somebody who jump into a burning shower, burn himself, as long as he can drown somebody else. That's what it is. So this Amalek is the most hated nation in history in the eyes of God. The most hated nation. Who is Amalek today? We don't know. We don't know. Why we don't know? There used to be a king, his name was Sancheriv. He mixed all the world. He made wars, problems, people were escaping one place from the other. So all the nations in his time started to mix. Immigration, here, there. You don't know anymore. Even today in America, right? America today, or especially let's say 50 years from now, every American has a different background. Sicilian, Italian, Irish, Dutch, German, Spanish, Mexican. There's Americans from all over. Second generation, they're born here. But where their mother from? Every mother is from a different country. So America, it's a combination of, who knows, maybe 100 different nations. Like New York. What's New York? York is a city in England over there. York, they made here New York. Before it was New Amsterdam. Because first was the Dutch, so they call it New Amsterdam. When the York people came, they put an X on the Amsterdam and they made it York. Tomorrow you'll have 1 million Arabs come, they put an X on New York, they call it New Mecca. That's what happened in Europe now. They occupy everything.
Didn't it say Shaul killed the Amalekim?
So HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent King Shaul to kill Amalek. He killed everyone except Agag. Agag already made one woman pregnant, and Hashem sent Shmuel the prophet to Shaul, And he told him, why didn't you kill the nation of Amalek? And he said to the prophet, I killed everyone. What is this noise? The prophet asked him, I hear noise. He said, no, that's the sheep. But Hashem told him to kill the sheep, to kill everyone. Not to leave everyone, just destroy them completely. But he left one person. And from that, they were recreated to another nation, which later, who came from them? Haman. The whole story of Purim came from that mistake that Shaul made. Haman Agagi. He is a descendant of Agag, the king of Amalek. King Shaul lost his kingdom because of that. He lost his kingdom. He was a righteous king. One critical mistake he made, and that's, by the way, one of the sources why a person should never mix his own opinion when he gets instructions from Hashem. Should never mix his own opinion. What the law says, this is the law, that's what you have to do. Don't use your heart to decide, maybe Hashem will be happier if I'll do it that way or this way. What's the instruction? A, B, C, D, that's all you do. Nothing else. Shaul mixed his own opinion. He thought, yes, Hashem told me to destroy Amalek, but did he really mean that I'm going to kill 1,000,000 sheep? Why? The sheep didn't make a sin, so I'm not going to kill the sheep. I'm going to keep the sheep and I'll sacrifice them to Hashem. Better, no? Like this, we have a double mitzvah. We destroyed Amalek and we make so many sacrifices to God. Very good. Didn't Hashem knows that this possibility exists? He knew. He still told you to kill them. Not to leave anything from their property even. Not even a memory from them. That's how much Hashem hates them. It's interesting. Because you see throughout the entire Torah, the Torah is very humanic. It's very sensitive, very merciful. The Torah says to have mercy on every person, even on the goyim, to be nice to them, not to steal from them. If you can save their life, you save their life. Even the poor goyim, non-Jews, that come for tzedakah, for bread, you give them from a Jewish fund. All of a sudden, this nation destroyed them. No mercy. Okay. First tragedy is Haman. Baruch Hashem, it turns to good. So we have Purim. Second time they came, the Nazis. The Nazis, all Amalekim. But again, we don't know which one, because you cannot point at every German and say this is Amalek. No, because they're all mixed. We don't know what's the roots. Same thing, any other nation. But one thing I want to ask you. This mitzvah in the Torah is one of the 613 mitzvot, to destroy the memory of Amalek, not to leave anything from them. This mitzvah is for every individual, or it's a general mitzvah for the entire nation of Israel? What do you think? What did Hashem mean? That every Jew that seen Amaleki, like I told you, today we don't know, but in the old days, when we could recognize this is Amalek, did I have an obligation to take my sword and kill him immediately in the street? Or it was a mitzvah for the army of Israel with the order of the Jewish code, the Beis Din, that now we are going into a war against Amalek to destroy them. So that means it's a general mitzvah for all of us as a unit. Or it still exists to every individual and individual. What do you think?
Every individual.
Believe it or not, it's not so simple. This question, it's an argument between the Chachamim of 800-900 years ago. We call them the Rishonim, the generation of the Rambam, the Rosh, all the great names that we see today in the books. They had a doubt. Did Hashem means every individual, or it means it's a unit mitzvah for all the, and that's therefore not, an individual cannot do anything. It's only as an army. Some say it's an individual mitzvah, some say it's a general mitzvah, for all of us together. But, now from these arguments comes another question. If, according to the opinion that it's an obligation for individual, which means every Jew that sees an Amaleki has to kill him, does he make a bracha before or not? Because every mitzvah from the Torah, you have to make the bracha before you do it, no? Asher kiddushanu mitzvotav etzivanu al hashchita. You slaughter the cow, you make a bracha. You slaughter a chicken, then you cover the blood, you make another bracha to cover the blood. because it's a separate mitzvah. You eat matzah in Pesach, you make mitzvah. You sit in a sukkah, you make bracha. Every mitzvah is a bracha. All the brachot in Judaism, all the blessing comes before the mitzvah started. Not after you did the mitzvah. Before. It's called over la'asiyatam. You make the bracha, and right after that you start the mitzvah. There's only one mitzvah in Judaism that you make the bracha after you do the mitzvah. What is it? When a goy comes to convert, he cannot make the bracha before he goes into the mikveh, into the water to dip, because he's still a goy. How can he say, Asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav etzivanu ala tvila? Still a goy. Kiddishanu means sanctify us, the nation of Israel. It's not a nation of Israel yet. He will be in a minute. So he cannot say this bracha. So he goes into the water, he comes out, then he makes the bracha. That's the only mitzvah. Therefore, by the way, the ladies that first light the candles and make the bracha after, it's better to first make the bracha and then light the candles. It's also an argument, and this is the proof that you don't find anywhere else, that first you light and then, first you do the mitzvah and then you make the bracha, because by then the bracha is bracha levatala. You already finished the mitzvah. What are you making now bracha? It's like a person ate an apple, finished the apple, now he says, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu lecha borei pri ha'etz.
Why Ashkenazi people do opposite?
Right, that's why I didn't want to say Sfaradi Ashkenazi. Also some of the Sfaradi does like this. It's not only Ashkenazi Sfaradi. There's different opinions. Those who do after, their opinion is that as long as it's litten, the bracha is going on. It's like, I give you an example. If somebody put tefillin and he forgot to make a bracha, it's already on him. So, I didn't make a bracha. I was thinking about something. What is he going to do now? He has already talit, everything. It's in the middle of the davening now. So he says to rub it, to move it a little bit, and make another bracha now. Why? Because as long as it's on you, the mitzvah is continuing. So you're saying from now on, from now to the future, not from what you lost the bracha, you lost already, it's over. From now to the next 10, 20 minutes that it's still going to be on you. So anyway, why we don't make a bracha? Because we don't make ever brachot about distractions. Only about creation, creating. Positive, not negative. Destroying, there's no bracha on destroying. That's number one. Number two, there's another reason. When the nation of Israel came out of Egypt, they were drowning, the Egyptians, and the nation of Israel started to say Hallel. So Hashem told them, Maaseh yadai tovim bayam v'atem omrim shira? My creation is being destroyed, and now you're praising me? I'm destroying all the wicked Egyptians? That's not the time to praise me and to sing for me. When I'm destroying my own creation, I'm not happy from that. Then I have to do it to Pharaoh and his army. So from here we learn, even when the enemies supposedly comes against us, how can we be happy that they are being destroyed? This is what the Torah says, Binfol oivecha al tismach. When your enemies are collapsing, don't make a party. It's enough that they collapse. You shouldn't make a party. Okay, but comes the other side and make an argument. So wait a minute. Didn't Moshe make a singing? Az Yashir Moshe Uvnei Israel. We sing it every day in the morning. Moshe made a party. He brought all the men. That's, by the way, one of the sources why men separate and women separate in parties. Moshe and the men making a party to Hashem. And Miriam, his sister, the prophet, took all the ladies to different places and they made a party separately. Why Miriam and Moshe, her brother, and all the uncles didn't dance like in a Bukharian wedding? Because it's against the law. What can we do? Hashem doesn't like it. If you fear from Hashem, you don't care what the uncle says. You don't even care what your parents says. Because Hashem comes before your parents. That's the most important thing. Plus, you don't want to mess with him. You can mess with your father. A week later, they'll forget it, they'll hug you, everything is over. Even if they threaten you that they're not going to pay the bills, they won't help you, whatever, don't worry. A month later, they'll forget about it, you hug, you kiss, you bring them a cake. Happy birthday, Daddy, for being 95 years old. Very good, no problem. You bring them a cake, it will be over. But With Hashem, it's very difficult. It's not so simple. Why? Because the blessing of the wedding, you didn't get it, ever. The most important thing is when the rabbi makes them as a one soul. It's two souls being united. It cannot be a blessing. When all the ladies are naked under the chuppah and later they're going to dance and hug and kiss. Hashem Yerachem. This is a holy ceremony. It's not a joke.
But they do it at home, though.
Who?
The real chuppah. They don't do it in the wedding.
No, in the wedding. Wow, what are you talking about?
I don't know.
Once he put the ring on her hands, that's it. The souls are united.
A day
No, before the
they
wedding,
do.
they do it at home.
Yeah, a day before.
Who does it at home?
Hawaiian. Yeah, that's what you do. That's
Yeah.
just for the show.
Yeah. Okay, no, okay, so you got a point here. If they did it at home, separately, modestly, no problem. Now we have another problem. Any mixed party, disco party, even not wedding, any mixed men and women is a very big sin. Very big sin. Who wants to be responsible for gathering so many men and women to dance together on his expense? It's not a clever thing to do. Because remember, you have to pay for each one of them. Each one of them. Each man that had a bad thought, each man that looked at the lady, each man that touched the lady. The husband and wife, they're paying for each one of them. It's not that Hashem comes and says, oh, listen, you nice couple, I'm a good man, we are good people. No. A good person means a person who listens to Hashem. And a part of listening to Hashem is to be good to people. The only obligation to be nice to people is only because Hashem said so. If Hashem wouldn't say so, why should I? Why should I be an idiot? Let me hide. Why should I volunteer? Why should I waste my time? Why should I break my back? Why? You do it. It's not your problem. Comes the Torah and says, when you walk in the street and you see the donkey of your enemy, needless to say your lover, right? The donkey of your enemy collapsed with heavy weight. Azov ta'azov imo. Make sure you pick him up. Help him to pick up the donkey. Remove what you need to remove. Pick the donkey up. And help him to get back on his feet. From here, by the way, it's a proof the obligation to save the soul of every Jew. Each one of us has this, not only me. Each one of you has an equal obligation. Even if you don't know how to talk. How? There's different ways to help. Supporting with money, with flyers, with computer work, with emails, with inviting people to the lecture. It's not so simple. If the donkey of your enemy you cannot ignore, your brother, you ignore his soul, what's the donkey? Who cares about the donkey? The donkey is here, tomorrow is dead. The donkey, you care about donkey now? If Hashem say the donkey is suffering, run and help him. Your brother, your uncle, all of them mechalel Shabbat, you don't care? Good point, no? Should know one thing. People who don't come to Torah lectures, besides the fact that they're losing the reward of learning, besides the fact that they know less Judaism, so therefore they make a lot more sins, besides that, they're also getting punished for making those who attend to the lecture weaker. Because the psychology of the people is, when a person sees all his friends, his wife, his uncles, his friends, everyone is inspired to do something, to go to the lecture, to make a lecture, to go to a seminar, to bring a speaker to the house to speak. If some of the people say, no, we're tired, enough with this, we don't care, it's too much headache, no, don't do it, it makes him weaker. Many people don't come knowing some of the friends don't go, so that's why they don't go. Even though I don't know what's the connection, but it's reality. That's what it is. You're going to go, I'm going to go also. You don't go, I'm not going. Same thing, seminars. All of a sudden, you have always in a seminar, half of the people are religious. So I always ask, why are you bringing religious people? This is for non-religious people. They want proofs that the Torah is divine. Why half of the people are religious? We don't need them here. So what's the answer? Always the same answer. And it's true. It's a real answer. The non-religious people won't come if they won't come with them. That's the connection. That's how it is. How do we learn that if you don't go to a lecture, You are guilty of other peoples who didn't go because of you. Even though you didn't tell them not to go. I didn't tell you not to go. Well, why should I pay for you? Where do we learn in the Torah? Not guessing. Where in the Torah it says that because of us, we're getting punished for other people? When? I give you a proof. The Torah says when the soldiers go to a war, it's a holy war. Hashem said to go and fight against this nation. For different reasons. Some soldiers are turning around and running back to Israel. Cowards. They're afraid. So they run back to Israel. The police, the Israeli police, in the old days, in the time of the Torah, they were waiting for them, catch them, and give them huge punishments, severe punishments. Punishments were horrible. Why? He's a coward. Yeah, leave him alone. Why do you make a big deal? Poor guy, look at him, he's not a man. No. Soldiers are dying because of him. We cannot forgive him. When other soldiers who go and fight with all their strength, the Shem Shamayim, to save Israel from these murderers, and they see 10-20% of the soldiers are running back, what do you think it makes them psychologically? It makes them very weak. We're surrendering, we're losing the war. They're getting killed because they didn't return. Or they turn around, they also run back. What happened? The enemy comes and occupies the land. And then we become their slaves. And then there's no Torah, and there's no learning, and there's no synagogues. Look in the history, it's always like that. So, here is the proof. If in a war, when the soldiers really were afraid for their life, you have a point of giving them the benefits of the doubt. It's not that they wanted to run back. They just couldn't handle the fighting, the pressure. They see people getting killed. They're afraid. They don't want to die. If for that there's no tolerance, there's no forgiveness. Why? Because you make other Jews weaker. It's only a war, big deal. When other Jews become weaker in a learning or showing up to lectures because of you, it's needless to say that you are guilty. For that you're guilty, for this you won't be guilty? Torah, if you knew the value of the Torah, Hashem doesn't forgive about Torah. Canceling the shiur, don't come, forget it, it's not so simple. The only way, if it's your life is in a risk. Your life is in a risk, no other way. If your life is in a risk, chas v'shalom, you can get killed, then you're not obligated. But other than that, there's no... Look, read in the Rambam. The Rambam writes, a person with leprosy, a poor person that knocking on doors begging for money for bread, his children are starving, still must learn Torah every day, no exam. Must learn Torah every day. He's connected to machines in a hospital, maybe another hour he'll be dead. If he has now, he doesn't need the doctors to check him, he has now an hour, he has to learn Torah. The obligation to learn Torah never expires. Never expires 1 second in a person's life. Of a man, I'm talking men. Therefore, we have to be more responsible. So, why we don't make a bracha on destroying Amalek? Even though Moshe made a party, Moshe was allowed to make a party because the party wasn't for the fact that the Egyptians are drowning and they are dying. No, for that he wouldn't make a party. The party was for the nation of Israel finally went to freedom. For that is the party. If they stayed alive, I'll still make a party. I didn't make the party because they're dying. From here we learn, when your enemies are drowning, don't make a party. And this is not only between a nation to a nation, even in your own real life. Somebody who gave you a hard time, and you see today he's going down, and he's losing, and he's divorced, and he's on the street, or whatever the case is, or his children went off the way. Don't be happy. Because if you will be happy, it's like a boomerang. It will come back to you, and you get the same thing. Guaranteed. If you be happy when your enemies are collapsing, you're bringing tragedies to you and your children after you. Because everything is measure for measure. Oh, you happy? and now the Jew is destroyed, and you are happy. I once gave this example. In my opinion, is one of the strongest proofs that you can ever ask for. It says that if a person is a psycho, and he went and raped a cow, sounds stupid, but people are doing these things. He made a sin with an animal. The Torah says, what do you do with this cow? You have to destroy the cow as well. You kill the person, and you kill the cow. To kill the person, I understand. It's against God's orders. And it's one of the worst sins you can think of in the Torah. Any sex crime is in the worst league, the worst. Especially something like this. So the question is not why you killed the man or the woman. The question is why you killed the innocent cow that was eating grass in the middle of the day. The answer is, Hashem says, because of that cow, even though the cow is completely innocent, I agree, Hashem says. But because of the cow, one of my children lost his eternity. He lost his share to the world to come because he made that sin. He's destroyed spiritually. Such tragedy came to the world because of this cow. I don't want to see any memory from this cow. Just destroy it. Don't enjoy it. Don't eat the meat of it. Don't sell it. Don't do anything with that. Don't enjoy it. Don't use the skin of it. Nothing. Just stone it. Burn it. I don't want to see anything left over from that. Now let's learn from here something critical. If the cow doesn't walk naked on the street like the ladies today. The cow doesn't make eyes to the man. Come, I'm here. No. The cow doesn't go like this. No. The cow doesn't do it. Poor cow. Hashem said, don't have any mercy on it. Don't use your heart, use your head. I don't want to see it. All these ladies that walk in the street, bars, restaurant, wedding, tons of perfume, every 5 minutes to the bathroom, comes out, the tall one in the middle, 2 short ones on the side, all this show off. What's going to be their end? If the cow had such an end, the cow doesn't have a free choice. The cow never received the Torah in Mount Sinai. The cow is not responsible for crazy men making sins like this with the cow. And Hashem said the cow will put to death by stoning with no mercy. Do you understand what's going to be with all these ladies? That because of them the men make sins? Is it clear? There's no, you couldn't ask for better proof. Needless to say, the Torah is saying that it's a horrible sin. You don't need that proof. I'm just saying as by the way. Hashem say to the ladies, מחטיא רבים אין לו חלק לעולם הבא. אין מספיקים בידו לעשות תשובה. Someone who commit others to make sins has no share to the world to come. Even when he wants to make tshuva, repentance, God will prevent from him to make tshuva. Can you believe such a thing? The entire Torah is, Hashem is begging us to make tshuva. Begging. And all of a sudden he said, no, for you, I'm not interested in your tshuva. Why? Because you're not just an individual sinner between you and me, like most sinners are. You are a person who made all my other children rebel against me. For that, I'm not so easy to forgive you. What you did between you and me, let's see if you make repentance, if you regret, I'm willing to consider, to erase, to make a deal with you. Fine. But now, even if you make tshuva, what about all the million men that looked at you every day walking with your miniskirts on the street? Where are you going to find all of them to apologize, to ask them, forgive me for what I did to you? Forgive me for breaking your marriage. Forgive me for this. Forgive me for that. I don't have to tell you. Use your imagination. So, you should also know that even though the Goyim have 7 laws to keep, the Goyim are guilty of every sin that common sense requires not to do. Everything the Goy does, even he cannot come and say, God, you gave me only 7 laws, and it's not one of them. Baloney. It's common sense. Every fool knows that. You don't need Torah for that. For instance, to respect your parents. It's not one of the 7 laws. So what, the guy is going to smack his father now? If he's just going to punch his father, God is going to punish him. So the guy comes and say, Hashem, I'm Ahmed, I'm not Yosef. Yosef cannot smack his father, but I'm Ahmed. I have only 7 laws. Hashem say, Ahmed, not Ahmed, Chris, whatever you want. You smacked your father, you're going to get punished. Where do we see it? As the Gemara said, there was a goy Dama ben Netina. The rabbis came to buy from him a stone for Bet HaMikdash. They missed the Choshen. We read in a parasha, there was 12 stones. One for each tribe. The stones were shining. The Kohen was asking questions, and based on the stones were shining, they knew the answers from Shamayim. Clear miracles in front of the whole nation. Choshen. So, one stone got lost. Fell one day, nobody finds it. So they go all over to look for the exact stone to put it in. The guy has it. So they offer, he asked for a price, 10 coins of gold. Negotiating, fine. Say, go get it. He comes back and says, no, I can't sell it to you today. He doesn't say why. Why? What's the reason? His father is sleeping on the box. He doesn't want to wake up his father. They doubled, tripled. They went to thousands of coins. They go, no. They don't even let him open his mouth. He's so nervous that he won't agree to sell it. How much? Just tell us how much you want. The next day they come, they double the amount. So the guy said, no, it's not about money. The price is the same price. Honest guy. He went, he got them the stone, 10 coins of gold. What's going on here? We already offer you 100 times more. You're telling us 10? No, I didn't. It's not because of the price. I couldn't sell it to you. It's because my father was sleeping on a box. So he only took 10. So 2 things we learn here. One, that the guy was extremely honest. They're offering you now 100 times more. What do you care? They are fools. It's not your problem. He could have taken the money. It would be perfectly fine with him. But it's not decent to do such a thing. So he didn't want to take extra money, the guy, Dama ben Netina his name. And the second thing, he didn't want to wake up his father. Even though his father would dance that he woke him up for such news. But even though he didn't want to wake him up, no. What happened to him? That night he had a red cow, billions of dollars. Once in a blue moon you have a red cow that you needed for Bet HaMikdash. Now they paid him 1,000,000 times more. So the Gemara say, why Hashem made him such a miracle? Because you see that even though he wasn't obligated, he made a mitzvah, the goy. Even its mitzvah is not obligated, it's common sense. For sure he's obligated. It's common sense. Hashem gave him $1 billion that night. And you see from here, and there's many other examples. I give you another example. The people of the flood, the generation of the flood. When the flood came 4,200 years ago, Hashem destroyed millions of people. Everybody died. Noah and his 3 sons and their wives survived. Okay? You know the story with the ark. Why Hashem destroyed millions of goyim? There was no Torah yet. Even the 7 laws that Hashem gave Noah, He gave him after the flood, when they came out of the ark. So the goyim didn't know the laws you should not steal. They didn't know the laws you should not kill. They didn't know the laws you should not eat raw animal and all these laws. But Hashem destroyed them. Because they were all wicked, the Torah say. Why they're wicked? They didn't have a book of law. You should not steal, you don't need God for. It's common sense. What's anarchy? Everybody steal from other people? How the world can go on? You should not kill other people, you need Torah for that? Come on. Even the animals understand it to some extent. That's common sense. Against common sense, don't bring any excuses, they won't help you. Same thing us. If by the goyim it bind them to punishment, to severe punishments, we the Jews, even if we don't know Torah, it's common sense. Some of the things that we do, it's against common sense. What are you going to say? I didn't know Torah? Hashem's going to say, yeah, Torah you didn't know. But every fool understands that it's wrong what you did. Right? Eating on the street like a monkey. It's common sense. It's no respect. Eating with his falafel all over his face, his beard is all dirty, looking like a whale. What does it show everyone? You cannot control yourself. You're like an animal. You see in a wedding what happened when they bring the dessert? Officially, the wedding is over. Imagine now 300 people dancing, circles, lifting the chatan on the chair. As soon as the ice cream and the cake and all the desserts come, up, everyone to the left. Maybe 5 or 6 people still dancing. What happened here? And so full. You know these people that bring blank check to the wedding? They don't know how many zeros to put. The first one to check the food. Plus, I'm not talking about these weddings that they give 10 times more food than what a normal person can eat. $20, $30, $40,000 every hour goes to the garbage. How much they throw. And plus, they have to pay for the town to take all the garbages. There's tons of garbage. You lose on both sides. One stingy guy is so stingy, he doesn't want to rent an apartment or to buy an apartment. So he has a store, he sleeps in the store. He wants to save money on the rent. So for a few years he sleeps in the back of the store. He has bags of merchandise, he sleeps on the burn. One time he comes to the shadchan, the matchmaker, and he says, I need to get married, I'm already 30, it's about time for me to get married. So the matchmaker told him, where exactly are you going to take your wife to live? In the back of your store, on the bags over there? First show me that you have a decent home to live in, then come to me and talk to me about a soulmate. So the poor guy, is one of these guys that are afraid to go to the bathroom that he won't have to eat again. That's how stingy he is. So now he goes, he thinks, how am I going to get a soulmate without spending so much money on rent? So he saw ads. He came to one house, he said, hello, I came for the ad. I don't really need the whole apartment. I just need one little tiny room. Tiny room, even the bathroom or shower. I'm only going to rent that tiny room. So they said, no, we're not interested to rent only one little room. We want to rent the whole apartment. He said, no, don't worry, I'll pay you very generously for that little tiny room. So how much? He said, let's see, the rent was $1,000. For the little bathroom, $300 I'll pay you. So one guy was stingy like him. Two stingy guys negotiate now. So you know what? It's not such a bad idea. Only for the bathroom, $300 a month. You got it. So he said, but I only have one condition. I want to be able to go in and bang one nail to the wall. I have one big nail. I want to make a hole in the wall and stick the nail into the wall. This guy was afraid to lose the $300. He said, okay, only one nail? That's it, no other changes. I'm not going to change the place. Just one nail. Okay, go ahead. So he comes, he bangs the nail in. The next day, the stingy guy with his wife sitting there, he sees coming in, he goes into the bathroom, he brings a dead dog, dead body of a dog, and he hangs it on a nail, on a hook. After an hour, they have smell in the house. What? You smell something here? It's horrible. He opens the bathroom. Wow, the whole house is horrible. They call him up. What are you, crazy? What are you doing? Say, hey, I'm paying you rent. You have no permission to go into my territory. It's mine, I'm paying rent. Why? What permission you enter there? The next day, bring a dead rat. The rest of the story is clear. They ran out of the house. Right away, they ran out of the house. He got the whole apartment. He got rid of the dead bodies. He goes back to the shadchan. He said, look, I have a whole house ready for me. Why I'm telling you this story? This is the way of the evil inclination. The way of the Satan, the way of the Yetzer Hara. First, he only wants to bang a nail. That's it. Same thing in a positive way. Hashem say, open me the size of a needle and I open you the rest. Same thing to the bed. Once you open the door a little bit, the dog comes in right away. Standing by the door, just open me. As soon as you open your heart for a new desire to come, you are finished. First it's a dead rat, dead dog. The next thing, the whole house you lose. You lose completely your soul. It started with one nail. In the end, he occupied everything about you. The idea, the Torah says, don't open him. Lapetach hatat rovetz. One guy in Israel, he goes to work in an office, he's Haredi, he has beard, black hat, and this is one of the secretaries, you know how they dress, Hashem Yerachem, in the summer of Israel. She forgets to get dressed. Directly from the beach with her bathing suit, she comes to work. So the guy asks her, excuse me, I'm sitting with you in the same room, I'm religious, don't you care about other people? Have mercy on me. Just put some modest clothes. Hey, it's democracy. It's a free country. What is this? You're going to force me now to become religious? Don't tell me how to dress. It's my own privacy. Say, yeah, but you're offending other people around you. You have to have some feelings. No, you're not going to tell me how to dress. He's thinking, wow, I'm going to solve this problem. He needs this job. One day he had a great idea. He took his clothes, he dipped them in gasoline. Horrible smell, He made them dry a little bit, then he dressed with his gasoline and he goes to the office. He sits right next to her. She smells, she says, what's this? So from now on, that's what you're going to get every day. That's how I come to work from now on. What, are you crazy? I can't breathe. She calls. She says, it's a free country. Democracy. You're telling me how to dress? That's what you're going to get until you die. The next day she came like a Rebbitzen. Okay, you Rebbitzen? No gasoline. בתחבולות תעשה לך מלחמה. Hashem say, and you have to go fight against the wicked people, you have to be extra clever. If not, you lose the battle. Just before we finished, the Zohar brings a story that one day Rabbi Abba is the one who wrote the Zohar. He's a student of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. He wrote it in the name of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. So that's close to 2,000 years ago, this story. One day he was in a shul, and the shul has a little opening to the attic. In the middle of the room, there's a ladder that comes down, and people goes to the attic. All of a sudden, they're starting the davening, so the Chazan started to say Kaddish. Gadal v'it Kadash. As soon as he said Gadal, from the attic, one guy, young guy, jumped into the shul. Boom, in the middle of the shul. Now the attic has stairs from the outside to come around and to enter the shul, like every normal shul. So he saw that the only reason the guy jumped, and he doesn't care what all the other people think about him, like a monkey jumps in the middle of the shul. He doesn't care about the people. He didn't want to lose the Amen. By the time he goes around, he missed the Kaddish. 5 times Amen, at least. So right away, he jumped in to say Amen. So Rabbi Abba said to the people over there, this guy, I want him to be my son-in-law. It's enough for me to see if a guy is willing to jump like this to the shul just not to lose Amen. For sure he's a big Talmid Chacham Tzaddik. I don't need to check about him. The end of the davening, and he was the biggest rabbi in Israel. He wrote the Zohar, it's no joke. He comes to him, I want to offer you to marry my daughter. That guy, I'm sure he didn't even ask to see her. Sure, Rabbi, Mazal Tov. Finish. So, they got married. True story, it's brought in the Zohar. Guess what? As soon as they move in, the guy is like a mute. Doesn't say a word. Sits like this, like a fool. They talk divrei Torah, he doesn't open his mouth. They sit in the Sheva Brachot, he sits like he doesn't understand anything. So Rabbi Yossi came to visit one of the Chachamim, the Tanaim. You see, Rabbi Abba is very depressed. So he comes and says, you're supposed to be happy. Why are you depressed like this? I say, wow, I think I made a mistake. I chose that guy because he jumped to the shul to answer Kaddish. But there's always an exception to the rule, I guess. It's a complete Am Haaretz, doesn't know anything. Right? I didn't hear one word of Torah from him already. 39 days. He's married. Not one word of Torah. I don't know how to look at my daughter to her face. Rabbi Yossi had a holy vision. He looks in his eyes, in his face, and he says, no, he's a holy man. You don't see the picture right. I'm telling you, see a lot of Torah will come out of him. So he thought maybe he's relaxing him. 2-3 days later, all of a sudden he opened up his mouth and started to give lectures. Everybody's shocked. So he comes to me and says, what happened? He said, I made a vow that for 40 days I'm going to keep my mouth completely shut and I won't say a word of Torah, nothing. I'm going to learn to myself, but I won't say anything. Today the vow expired. Rabbi Yossi saw in his face. Rabbi Abba couldn't see in his face. But what do we learn from this story? A person jump not to miss Amen. He cannot be just an ignorant from the street, from the bar with a beer, runs to the shul not to miss Kaddish. If you get to this level, it shows who you are. There's no hocus pocus. All these little things show who you are. The way you dress, the way you stand in a prayer, what time you show up to the synagogue in the morning. What do you think? This is how to check a person. The way people dress, the size of their yarmulke. The size of the yarmulke show a lot about the Yirat Shamayim of the person. By the size of his yarmulke, you know how righteous he is. By the way, yarmulke, what's this word yarmulke? It comes from Yere Malka. How you spell yarmulke? With R. Yarmulke. What's the R over there? I never understood why they spell in English with R. Yarmulke, Y-A-M-A-K-A, no? Yarmulke. Yarmulke. It comes from the word in Hebrew, Yare Malka. Yare Malka means Yare, afraid of the king. So if your yarmulke is the size of a quarter, you're a little bit afraid of the king. Yes.
It needs to be big.
If it's bigger, you have fear from Hashem. Same thing the woman, how she cover her hair. She covered her hair the way it should be. It shows a lot of fear.
It makes sense.
She covered her hair a little bit. No. Maybe she's afraid of her husband. I don't know. I think I'm done for tonight, but maybe one last thing. You should know one thing I said before, and we didn't finish it, just that little thing. It's a big mitzvah to be nice to every person. It's important. It's not just, I'm not in the mood to be nice. No, it's mitzvah from the Torah. To say hello first. Don't wait for him to say hello. You be always the first one. Enough with these ego games. You run. I always say hello to him. He never answers me. What do you care? The mitzvah goes to your account. He's losing. Rabbi Yaakov Kaminetsky in Monsey on Sundays used to pass by the church. There's a church in Monsey. From before religious people live there. They don't even have a minyan. But they have about 10 acres with all these getchkes over there. So he used to run to say hello to them. Have a good week to the goyim. You don't lose from saying hello, how are you, how you feel. But not like the American way. The American way, it's fake. You go into the elevator in the morning, in a building or in the office building, you see an American woman, oh, how are you? Come on. You have to be a little, you put a better act. How are you? When I came to America, I walked in the street in Little Neck, in Norton Boulevard, in Little Neck, one day. First day I was walking in America, I walk in the street, I see an American guy running. How are you doing? I said, maybe he knows me. 5 minutes later, today nobody say anymore how you doing. But 20 years ago, people in New York used to say, how you doing? In other places in America, everywhere you go, people say, how you do? How are you? But it's all fake. The Torah say, real. You care about others for real. Plus, you have to know one thing. Even if you're depressed, even if you lost money in the stock market today, even if you lost a deal, even if your wife giving you a hard time, even if your children are... Whatever the reason is, the other people don't read your mind. When they see you with a sour face, they think you have something against them. And then that's how an argument begins. He goes to his wife, I don't know, for 3 days, this guy is angry at me, I don't know what I did to him, doesn't even say hello, and it's nothing to do with him. And then he begins to talk Lashon Hara against him, and then he heals, and he retaliates, and in the end people get murdered. For what? For your sour face. It starts with this. Just that you know that if every religious Jew will be extremely nice to the secular Jews, probably wouldn't have secular Jews anymore. Because a lot of the main reasons why many of them willing to come in here, if they like the person or not. If the religious person, they like him, they're willing even to listen to something that he has to say. But if they don't like him, they don't even want to let him talk. And even if he talks, mentally they block their mind. You understand? So the idea is, you see them, how are you Moshe? How are you Yitzchak? How are you? Oh, what nice people, look at them. That's one of the reasons why Chabad was very successful all the years. Because they went to places with the non-religious people, bring them donuts, hey, come put tefillin, hey, how are you? Did you put tefillin today? They did it in such a sweet way. They were able to get a lot of people asking some questions about Judaism. You understand? The idea is, when you show a nice face to others, you have no idea what great influence you may have on those people. You know, speaking about this, 2 diamond dealers, I'll finish with this story. 2 diamond dealers were sitting and making I told you before that the rich people ran away from their homes because they're afraid that they have to give a lot of money. This year, business wasn't so great. So they were to save the embarrassment. So two diamond dealers, one from Toronto and one from Antwerp in Belgium. Antwerp, that's how you say? Antwerpen, Antwerp. You know that city, Antwerp? In Belgium? There's a city in Belgium, which I'm going to go there, Bezrat Hashem, in July, for a seminar. Even over there, Jews are waking up, you see, everywhere. So, 2 diamond dealers sitting in, making a deal, and they agreed to meet at 6 o'clock in the evening. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. The seller prepared all the diamonds. It's a very big deal. Very big deal. Lots of diamonds. 6 o'clock, the guy didn't show up. 6:10, 6:15. To deals like this, people usually don't come late. He asked his wife, what? Did he call? You get any phone call that he's running late? Something? They called up his house. His daughter picked up the hotel where he was staying. He said, I don't know. My father left a long time ago. Should have been by you. I don't know. He didn't call to say that he's stuck or anything like that. After, he didn't show up all night. Was waiting, calling again to the house, calling. 10 o'clock at night, after maybe 20 times he called, the seller is under pressure. Big deal. The guy picks up the phone in the hotel. What's wrong with you? I'm waiting for you from 6 o'clock. Say, oh yeah? Oh yeah? Why don't you ask your wife? I was there exactly at 6. He said, you were here in my house? He said, yes. I knocked on the door. Your wife opened the door. She told me you're very busy. You cannot see me, and closed the door in my face. What are you blaming me for? He was dressed very simple. Even though he's a billionaire, he had a bag in his head. He didn't look like like a real diamond dealer. So she thought, it's another poor person coming to ask for tzedakah. He wants to speak to her husband. We don't have time for you. My husband has to sell diamonds today. She closed the door in his face. He was the buyer. So, okay, so come back. It was a misunderstanding. He said, no. People who close the door to Meshulachim, who comes to collect tzedakah, she thought I'm collecting. That means she does it to others. I don't want to do business with you. The deal went off. Again, they were lucky because Hashem showed them in their life. Most people, nothing would happen. He would return, sell the diamonds, nothing happened, and he continued like this for years. And then when he comes to Hashem, he says, hey, it's not fair. You never sent me a sign. Why are you blaming me? Why are you punishing me for not giving enough tzedakah? I wish I knew what you're thinking. The answer would be, the answers are all in my Torah. Every time somebody wants me to dance for him, I won't start the show. One woman, she won the world, the championship of the world for piano. She's the best pianist. And then her father made a party for her in Manhattan, in a beautiful place, with a beautiful piano. And all the important people came to see how she plays piano. She's the champion of the world. So the first guy showed up. Oh, so you're the one? Can you play for me Beethoven? She plays. Then the other guy comes in and says, oh, can you do some Mozart for me? She played Mozart. Then the other one comes, the other one. Then after a few minutes, the fourth guy that came, she said, hey, don't you have eyes? Look at the wall. Do you see the certificate? Yeah, what does it say? That I won the award, I'm the best pianist in the world. What do you think? Every time somebody comes, I have to prove it? Why did I get certificate for? You have a question? Look at the wall. Same thing Hashem tells us. I gave you Torah, I shocked the whole world. I came down to this world, I spoke to you, everybody heard my voice, millions. The Goyim knows it. It's going in tradition from father to son all over the world, in all cultures. You have the Torah, you the nation of the book. You continue to say, give me a proof. Make an earthquake for me, I'll be religious. Let me make the deal, I'll be religious. Find me a beautiful wife, I promise you I'll be a rabbi. What is this? Don't test Hashem. That's what the Torah says. Lo tenasu et Hashem. Don't test me as your fathers did in the desert. No bread, no water. The water is not sweet. Why you took us out of Egypt? Hashem doesn't like complainers. Enough with this complaint. What's the situation? Baruch Hashem. I hope it will even be better. Always Baruch Hashem. Never complains. Hillel HaZaken one time came to his home and he heard a scream. Huge scream from his neighborhood. He said to his students, for sure it's not in my house. Don't worry. So everybody asked, what is this? Ego? Hillel HaTzadik. How does he know it's not in his house? Who are you, God? Maybe it's in your house. Righteous people also have some problems, no? So the answer is no. He didn't know if it's in his house or not. The tragedy. One thing he knew for sure. That I train my children and my wife never to complain. Never to cry, never to scream. Everything that comes they accept with love. So if somebody is screaming, oh no, for sure it's not in my house. Because in my house, no matter what happened, you'll never hear people screaming. I always say thank you Hashem for the good and for the bad. Baruch Adonai L'olam. Amen ve'amen.